you do that? With Ernie Farrar. Farrar. How do you pronounce your name?
Farrar.
We are with Ernie Farrar. And the reason we're interviewing him is that he has a story to tell. He's been in the radio business for almost close to 50 years. And we're going to just start by saying thank you first for having us here.
You're welcome.
And tell us a little bit about you. Who is Ernie Farrar?
Just a poor kid from the Northeast Kingdom, that's all. I grew up in Newport. Okay. I left Newport back in 1962 and went back to school for a while for radio and television. And, back in those days, too, growing up there, you always got into a little deviltry, see? And I remember a police chief saying, you keep it up, you're not going to go very far. I guess he was right, because I only went 79 miles south of Burlington.
Well, at least you're still outside of jail. You're not inside.
That's right. Oh, it was all in fun. It was all in fun, really.
Right.
So I've been in radio. I started actually in Barrie, Vermont at WSNO. I was there doing part-time work, and they were going to send me to St. Albans, to their sister station, WWSR. So I started there in 1963, and I stayed there with them, and a great experience. Mr. Kimmel, Bob Kimmel, just a great guy, and gave me the opportunity. And being a young guy, one of the things, Michelle, you don't want to get an early morning show because you're young,
Right.
So what did I ended up doing early mornings.
You did.
And went from there. Oh yes. And then I come down here to WVMT. With the manager here, a great guy, the late George Cameron, heard me on the air one day, and he had his program director give me a call to see if I would be interested in coming to work in Burlington. So of course, you're going from a small daytime station to a good size, WVMT. So really, Michelle, if I stay here, if I last until January 9th of 2016, it'll be 49 years on the air here.
Oh my God.
So it's been a while. I've had a total of, at that time, about 52 years in broadcasting.
Were you in St. Albans for a little while?
Yeah, that was there for the three years.
3 years.
St. Albans, yeah. Never worked, though, for my hometown station in Newport.
No?
No, at WIKE. That never happened. And, of course, I just, went part-time, and you always got to get your foot in the door.
Right.
And that's what it takes, You get your foot in the door, and then you move up from there.
Right. And you've done only morning shows?
Oh, no.
No.
No, when you start at a job like coming to WVMT, I worked evenings, worked at night, and then you move up to a daytime slot when it becomes available. And really, and our boss, George Cameron, he always wanted you to learn everybody's job. And so if you ever got called to do it, you would have some experience at it, And one of the things that did happen here was, of course, we carry UVM hockey. And this was years ago. The two people that did the hockey, they come down with the flu.
Oh, gee.
So me and another guy did the hockey. That was the end of it for me. That was it. So, you got a chance to do just about everything. And it's great. I mean, I've covered racing, auto racing, did a show from Catamount Stadium in Milton from just about the time it started until they closed. We did an hour warm-up, and so you got involved with interviews there. And then I went on to do a half-hour show every Monday. It was called The Fastest Half Hour on Radio. And I won 3 national awards for that, which was very, very good.
It is very good.
So I've touched with a little bit of everything, and now I'm the chief operator here. Good title, the boss. You hear that? Raise go with it.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're doing a little bit of everything. While you're working mornings. Charlie, Ernie, and Lisa, we have a great time.
You do have a good team.
Sometimes you wonder, we're going to be here the next day.
Right.
You know,
Right. Well.
Michelle? So, you know, my life has been in radio, but I've done a lot of things outside of radio.
Well, let's talk about that as well.
Well, you know, I've always tried to help the youth, you know, get off the streets.
All right.
And I taught hunter education for, well, about 16 years, and was in scouting. I was assistant scoutmaster with that. I was a mentor for, you know, Youth Day and first day of hunting for them or going hunting. Probably being their mentor is probably why they never shot anything.
Well,
But
join the club.
it was great. It was great. It was great.
You're
And-
also involved in the glove, the boxing?
Oh yeah, well that's another one. It's I was involved with the boxing clubs, the Franklin County Boxing Club at first, and then it went over to Tri-Town Boxing, and Jimmy Sheridan, one of the best trainers, you know, with kids and getting them in the ring, but making sure, you know, that they were qualified and ready to go into the ring boxing. So we would put on some small shows at the, Opera House in Enosburg was one of the places. We were there quite a few times with that. We'd go over into Canada at the time for boxing matches. And then back in, well, it was shortly after the '76 Olympics. Here's what happened. Golden Gloves boxing has been part of the Vermont sports scene from the mid-'40s. You know, I may be old,
didn't
Michelle, but I
realize that.
wasn't there for
No,
the first
you
one.
was not there.
Not the
No,
first,
no,
not the first one. See? So then the Golden Gloves was about 3 years. They took it away from people because they ruined it, and it was actually they were dormant. So I get a call from the head one of the Lowell Sun newspaper, Lowell, Mass, because they have the overall franchise here in New England.
I will ask you a little bit after you're done with this, and I don't mean to interrupt you, to explain to us what the Golden Glove is. For you, it's a given, but for a lot of people, it's not.
It's amateur boxing.
Amateur boxing.
And well,
So it was dormant.
It was dormant. So they asked me if I could start it up again. This is in the fall. It's October. So I said, when? Next year, meaning the following year. Oh, no. We want to start in January. See? So I have nothing. You know, you don't have the equipment. You don't have the ring. You don't have anything. Whoa, what are you going to do? So first off, I went to see the state boxing commissioner, Bernie Cummings, who was director of, at that time, just the Burlington Boys Club, Burlington Boys and Girls Club now. And I said, Bernie, what should I do? Should I accept this and bring Golden Gloves back to life here in Vermont? He said, go right ahead. I said, well, Bernie, we have no equipment, we have no gloves. We got to start somewhere. So beg, borrow, steal, as you would say. And Bernie let us use the gym at the Boys
Burlington.
Club. Yeah. And he helped me. And I was a young guy. I was only, at that time, 33 years old, and had never run. I've done boxing shows, but these were local events. And to get involved with the Golden Gloves was quite the
So
thing.
the Golden Glove,
Yeah.
explain to me, the Golden Glove covers the whole United States?
Yeah, you have national Golden Gloves, but in a Golden Gloves tournament, you're sectioned down. See, like New England,
All right.
we have New England. But at the time, when I took over, it was more than just Vermont.
Okay.
It was more than that. I had Montreal. I had the Adirondacks from Albany, New York, up through to Plattsburgh, or up to the border, I should say. Had New Hampshire, the state of Maine. So that's quite an undertaking, see. Boy, I says, what are you going to do? Well, we managed, got it off the ground. We started at the Boys Club, and then we outgrew that in a hurry, and went over to Winooski High School. We used their gym, outgrew that, and went back to where the Golden Gloves started back in the 40s at Memorial Auditorium in Burlington, and that's where we are now. And they have changed the name of it. It's always the Vermont Golden Gloves to me, but now it's northern New England Golden Gloves of Vermont, as we call it.
The shows that we're doing today, right now, it's also about inspiration. It's also about, you said, I'm a poor kid from from the North Country. I'm a poor kid from Paris. I was born in a very poor, and I think I've done all right. But it's all about inspiration. How do you look at a show like we're doing today, and you find out, well, maybe I want to become Ernie Farrar, or maybe I want to become more than I am.
Whatever you want to do, you can do it. You know, like I said, I was a very poor kid. Whatever I've earned, I've done it all by myself. Okay, my father died about 6 months before I was born. My mother passed away when I was about 18. So you know, it was a huge family, and so you know, you're looking at the world right through the big window, the picture window. You know, so I worked for a year at Orleans Manufacturing. Saved some money and went off to school in Boston. I went to a bank to get a loan, and very, very nice man. And he says, sure, I'm going to give you the money. I don't want you to worry about a thing till you get out of school and get a job, and then you come talk to me. So there, you know, that's
when banks were still banks.
That's right. That is right. And so, you know, I've done everything on my own. You know, you say you have no money. How do you do it? You work.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And
You don't expect somebody to give it to you.
No, nobody gave it to me.
Right.
I've earned everything that I have today. So any youngster, whatever it might be, radio, television, whatever you want to do, you know, you can do it. It's out there for you. Just work for it, that's all.
Well, I think that's what's missing a lot is that drive, that vision that we have of ourselves. You know, you have to have some kind of a vision even for yourself. Saying, well, you know, I'm not going to be waiting here for somebody to just come and say, oh, you know, you're going to be this. You're going to decide. So early on, you decided that you wanted to be into the radio.
I have wanted to be in the radio from the 7th, 8th grade, you know, and you remember the old days of the crystal radios. So we used to take the Quaker Oats box, put copper wire on, you know, with a crystal.
And moves the needle of the quartz.
That's right. That's right.
It's hard to believe, but I mean, this is the way it was, and this is not that long ago.
That's right. That's right.
So you've seen a lot of changes in that business.
Sure. Then I also, I'm a ham radio operator too, extra class, when you had to learn code, you know. My calls are W1EF. So I'm not on the air right now, you know, with ham. I just don't have the time. But so I you know, go from the crystal radio and go to the, you know, ham radio. And working in commercial radio is just fantastic. But of course, your longevity is getting a little short now. I mean, it's almost time to think of retiring.
Well, I was going to touch that. So since you're bringing it up.
Yes. No, I'm not going to retire right away. Why do you want to retire when you're doing something you love?
Right.
You know?
And you do love it. You have that spark in your hand.
That's
in
right.
Your eyes.
I enjoy it. And somebody said, well, what do I want to retire for? I can still talk.
Right.
You know, so
well, you can still talk.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So no retirement in your future.
Not right away.
No.
Not right away, but
and not because you have to work, just because you want to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Makes a big difference.
That's right. That's right. I have 6 youngsters. They're not youngsters anymore.
Right.
But I adopted. I have 6, 2 biological. I adopted 3 at the time, abused children. And then 2 years ago, we adopted a 6-year-old.
Oh, my God.
So I have an 8-year-old at the house.
Oh, my goodness.
And she is our great-granddaughter.
Oh,
we had a great little girl, Haven. And so, you know, and now, you see, I got the 3 of the adoptees, 3 of my children. I put them to work at the glove, see.
Do you?
Oh, yes. Yeah, see,
Yeah.
they want to be part of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
See,
That's
so
awesome.
it's great.
So you talk the talk, but you walk the walk.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's one thing to say, "Oh, we got to help children, and we got to,"
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you adopt them.
Yes.
That's
oh, yeah.
That's commendable.
They're
That's
doing
wonderful.
They're doing great, and one of the girls, they were brothers and sisters. So you get brothers and sisters, they argue a little bit too, you know.
A little
But
bit.
we had one of the girls graduated from college with a business degree. So they're everybody's doing great. Everybody's
That's
doing great.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
So
Do you still have roots in the North Country?
I have 3 sisters.
Okay.
The youngest is about 88. Then we'll move up to about 91, and my oldest is 93.
Oh my God! So you got longevity in that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. There's a tough old Vermonters.
There was 8 of us, eight of us, and there was 5 boys and 3 girls, and I'm the only boy left.
I see.
Yeah, as my sisters say, my little brother. Well, not so little.
Yeah. North Country. You've seen changes in the state itself.
Yes.
North Country doesn't seem to have changed a lot. I lived there when I first got here. That's where I went. I went to Jay, and then I lived in Newport. And
You lived in Newport?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And I've been here 35 years, and I go back to Newport has changed a little bit, but the North Country itself seems like it's the only part of Vermont that is preserved, kind of, the way it was. What's your take on that?
Well, you know, growing up there was nothing.
Right.
There was
There
nothing. And I'm going to tell you, growing up in Newport was a booming town.
Yeah.
I mean, you would find 2 police officers out directing traffic on a Friday or Saturday
Are you
night.
kidding me?
That's right. Stores would open. It used to be Saturday night, and then they changed it over to Friday night. It was unreal. It was unreal. And then the state put that big block in up there. I mean, the office buildings, I don't even know if it's filled. I mean, if they need the whole place. They knocked down one whole block.
Yeah,
it was,
right.
Yeah. And I just don't understand. You know, you had J.J. Newberry's. I mean, that was big.
I
That
remember
went
that.
out. You had Woolworths. That was gone. You had M.H. Fishman. That is gone. And I don't know what's going on. Now you're seeing they're getting Walmart there in Derby.
Derby, yeah.
And you take from Newport to Derby, look at all the buildings that have gone up, you know? It's outside of the Newport area. And then you go up into Derby, head to Derby line. I mean, you're getting some businesses there too.
Are you?
So it is growing, as we talk about Newport. To me, it's growing
Well-
outside. But Newport, they knocked a whole block down.
They did,
Yeah.
where Bill Stenger bought that.
from Jay,
It's
yeah.
a big hole right now. but-
That's right. And they're going to put up a hotel there.
Right.
See? So, you know, it's growing.
I love the North Country.
You do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do. I really do. The only reason I moved out of the North Country was because I couldn't find work. But besides that, this is just a special place.
Well, you know, some of the people, they'd rather fish in the wintertime and sell the perch, you know.
Yes, that's right. And they still do.
They do.
They still
That's
do.
right. That's right. It's like a business to them.
It
you know?
is.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
But, you know, they're getting this new, what is it, ANC biological
Yes.
place there.
Are they going to get that?
That's supposed to be coming
Okay.
into Newport, which is good because I don't know how many they're going to hire there, but they'll be hiring some people
Of
there.
course, they put the jail
Yeah.
where Bogner used to be. Was it Bogner that was
Yeah,
there?
Bogner, yes,
Yeah.
yes. The ski
Yes, that's
ski
right.
ski
Yeah.
clothing manufacturer, yeah. And, you know, you've got the Burns Theater. I used to work at the Burns Theater, too, setting up the marquee.
Were you?
Oh, yes, and running the spotlight when they had live music programs,
see.
bands. Oh, yeah, you know, kind of jack of all trades, master of none, really. You
Well,
know, but,
you did what you needed to do.
Oh, yeah. It was worth $5 a week. But $5 a week, back then, you know, it was pretty good.
Let's talk about your wife.
Oh,
Your wife has
Sherry.
been an important part of your life.
Oh, yes, she, I'm going to tell you, she's a great lady, and she helps me and supports me all the way. And she is also a certified official for Golden Gloves as
I
well. And she handles all the tickets and you know, information about that. And while I'm working with all the boxers and the coaches, and she travels with me, and we go to a boxing show. Somebody calls and says, I need some help. Can you help us? We need some equipment. Can you help us? And she goes right along. She's very, very supportive.
Shows she's been a big part of the
Yes,
whole thing.
yes, yes, she has. Yes, she has.
Sometimes we forget that. We
I
forget
know.
that without a good spouse.
I know, and it takes a lot of people to put on a Golden Gloves tournament too, and you have volunteers that will help out, and it is great. It really is, and you got to have that support
You do have
because
to
it
have
takes
that
up a lot of time.
That's
so
for sure.
You better have some.
Plus, that's
support.
something. If you're going to be involved in something that big and that for that long, if you don't do it with your spouse, then you're apart.
That's right. That's right.
You're
Well-
doing your own thing. She's doing her own thing.
Right, right.
Where
and-
there you're making it together.
That's right. That's right. And I don't meddle in her business doing the tickets and talking with the people. Because if I did, I'd be in a sparring match right there. I don't need that.
And you may not win.
No.
You may not win.
I usually lose. But she's very supportive. I can't ask for more, really.
That's good.
Yeah.
You've never forget that you was poor, that things were not given for you.
No, not at all. Far from it, you know. And
Right.
to advance from where I started, you know, back in Newport and growing up, and where I am today is great. And any youngster, you can do that. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Just put your mind to it
Right.
and go.
So don't fall in the self pity and say I cannot even.
That's right. Never mind the can't.
Right.
Yeah, never mind the can't,
Right.
because it can be done.
It can be done.
Yes, yes, it is.
Do you have people along the way that you feel that help you? That okay, I wanted to do it, but I needed some push. I needed some help. You must have had those kind of people along the way. that
Sure,
help you.
sure. You know, really, I was an abused youngster, physically abused by a stepfather, and he comes under the state, you know how it is. Today it's DCFL. I used to call her was the state lady.
The state lady.
She was a great, great person, and she would always tell me I wanted to quit high school to go to work to support because you had no money. And she was always saying, no, you stay right in school. You know, that lady came to my high school graduation and encouraged me to go forward. And I did. I took her advice and, you know, just went on about my way, in a good way, too, at that.
So you felt that there was, that's one of the time where actually somebody from the government, somebody that
Yes.
is from the rest of society helped and made a difference in your life.
Yes, certainly did. Certainly did. I couldn't praise her anymore, really. So it's been great. I mean, radio has been my life, and I love it. I get up early in the morning and ready to go to work, and it's enjoyable, and you have fun. Charlie, Ernie, and Lisa every morning from 6 to 10 on WDYDT.
It's number one. It's a number one talk show.
Oh yes, it is. And
What makes it different? What
Well-
makes the show different from any other show?
well, you know, we talk politics. We have guests come on. Charlie and I actually interviewed Yogi Berra.
You did.
That's right. Yeah. You see a fork in the road, you take it. Say, you know?
That's right.
Oh yeah, and race car drivers. Richard Petty is another one. I mean, it's just great. It's great to meet all of these people.
That is.
You
that
get
is.
to know a lot of people, put it that way.
You have, along your career,
Mm-hmm.
of all the people that you have interviewed, talked to, do you have some people that comes to mind immediately, the ones as you said, boys, that was a real good interview, that was a real good...
You know, Michelle, you had so many through
So many.
these
So
years.
there is
that
no-
It's hard to go back
Right.
and pick out one that sticks
Right.
right out in your mind.
Right.
You know, and get to know the governors, you know, in the state. I mean, go all the way from Dean Davis back then, all the way up through, and Governor Jim Douglas, who was in radio too, by the
Right.
way.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Doing a show?
Yeah, he was on, I believe he worked at the radio station in Middlebury. I believe it was Middlebury. He worked at the college radio station too, and he now sets in from time to time at a talk show hosting a talk show in Waterbury, it's in Waterbury where he does that from
right.
time to time.
Okay.
One of the good things about Governor Jim, he drank coffee all day.
Yeah, he does.
He drank coffee all day, so he would come and I would double bag the coffee, so I make it extra strong.
I see.
So then, the last few times he went, I triple bagged it. So he would, by the time he left, I think he was talking to himself. He's a great
Driving
guy.
the wall.
Jim's always been a great guy. He's a great guy.
That's a
And,
great story. So you have that little prankster side of you,
Oh,
huh?
well, Governor Shumlin used to stop by and he always put his wallet right beside me in the studio.
Yeah.
His mic was where you stood when you were in the legislature. You come
Right,
to visit us,
right.
and he would leave his wallet there, and I would always take his wallet.
So he'd be looking for his
Oh
wallet?
yeah, sure he would, sure. And I said, boy, you know, you're a millionaire. Let's see what you got in here. he would have $20 bills. You know, I said, come here, what's going on here? Where's all the money? And then I took his wallet one day, and he had got his first check as governor.
Ah.
So he says, did you see that first check in there that I got for governor? I said, no. He says, you're not going to see it either. I didn't see that. But he's been a great guy, too. You know, they're all great. They're all great. Have a
Well,
good time.
they come to you for many reasons, I suppose. One is being exposure. Second is better to be in your good grace than it is to be against you.
Oh, yeah.
So you must see and know after a while, you must develop that sense of, oh, that person is here because they want me to say something nice about them.
Well, it's not always nice.
No,
it's not.
I know.
You know.
I've been there.
You've been there.
Yeah, I know, I've been there. But I really enjoyed. I mean, Zach and I, our cameraman, were talking about it, and he was asking me, and I said, yeah, well, I came a few times to the show, and I really enjoyed it. So, usually, you have to bring food. So, what is it with food on your show?
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah, tell me.
You know, for a half hour with us, I think it's worth a couple of donuts. You know, and then we have. Usually they bring some
They
food
do.
in. And then we have restaurant day too. Sometimes twice a month. You know, and
So how did that start it?
well. Howie Carr, you know, and
Yeah.
you know, we have Howie here with us on WVMT out of the Boston area. And he was a great one for that. So we learned from him. We learned from the best.
I see.
Yeah, they
So
want to
you
come on, sure.
bring something.
Yes.
Don't come up empty-handed.
That's right. That's
I
right.
see.
That's right.
So you must have your favorites.
Oh.
I know you like donuts.
Oh yeah.
I know you like donuts.
I like a good plain donut like Mother used to make. That's what I like. See. And the best I found is Quality Bake Shop in Essex.
Really?
That's right. Yes. Oh, sure.
Oh.
Yeah. You know.
I know you have chocolate.
Oh no, mine's just plain.
Just
good,
no, but
plain,
you also have people making chocolates that come.
Oh yes.
Those Champlain chocolate.
Snowflake chocolate.
Snowflake chocolate.
Snowflake chocolate.
My God! Every time I turn on the show, it's like, oh, we're eating this and we're
That's
eating
right,
that.
that's
Sometimes
right.
it's tacos. Tacos at 8 o'clock in the morning.
But you got to remember, we've been up early.
Well, that's true.
See, we've been up early.
That's
It's
true.
lunchtime for us.
It
see.
is lunchtime.
That's right.
So tell me, you get up early. Do you go to bed late?
No, oh no, I go to bed no later than about 8:30.
8:30.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready and here by
Yeah.
what time?
Well, I usually, depending on, sometimes I wake up now without an alarm. You get up early, I get in here early.
Right.
I've been here as early as 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
As early as 3 in the morning. In the wintertime, it takes you a little longer to get here. We always said, what's your hurry? You're only going to work.
Right.
Slow down.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So you have to, people say, well, how do you do it? Well, you get used to it.
Right.
You get used to it. And as I always say, you got to learn to sleep fast. See, you got to learn to sleep fast. That's, see.
Do you find that as you age, I know I find as I age, I need maybe more sleep than I used to? You don't feel that way?
Not really.
Not really.
No. Sometimes I'll get in the recliner and I doze off.
You take a little snooze there.
Oh, sure. Otherwise, if you didn't, you have to go to bed at 5 o'clock.
Yes, that's true.
That's
True.
You don't want to
So
do that.
at what time does the show start?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, and I get the promos in by 5 o'clock in the morning, and what we have coming up for the day, who the guests are, and you can give the scoreboard, and so you get all of that ready. You have to go through all of the releases from the police, state police throughout the state. You get them all now, so you don't have to call. They send you the release.
They send you automatically.
That's right.
What's going on?
Oh yeah. So that takes time to go through all of that.
Right.
It takes time. It's all about prep, and to be honest, at night, I mean, I go through all of the news again, what is going on, what has happened, and you have to keep up to date with everything. Out of Montpelier, or what's happening in Burlington, what's happening in St. Albans, and it's all about prep. It's all about show prep.
Talk about St. Albans. What do you think about the change in St. Albans?
It's beautiful.
Isn't it?
It is beautiful. And the main street, it's gorgeous.
Isn't it quite a transformation, renaissance?
That's right.
It's amazing what a little group of people with the right connection and the right vision can change.
Oh, it took a while. It wasn't a lot of fun while they were going through that because of the traffic delays and whatnot.
Right.
But look at it now.
Look at it now.
It is great.
Yeah, I was at the fountains when they came back.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
my goodness.
Wasn't that something? Huh?
It is something.
And you see that now in the park. It's gorgeous.
That's right.
It is great. It's fantastic. I coach baseball from midget league up to, as we would call it, the majors, up to Little League Baseball. Oh, sure. We get them out there.
Is there anything you didn't get involved in?
Well, another one was the Maple Festival.
Maple Festival.
I was on the board there for maybe 6 years. And that was very enjoyable. I had a great time with that, too. Seeing that come together, and look at it now. It's huge.
It is huge. It's one of the biggest festivals now.
That's right.
Now, there is some changes that are coming, or have they made the changes as far as not having it on Main Street and moving it from Main Street?
I don't know where they would move it to.
I don't know either.
I have no idea, but leave it where it is.
Yeah.
Leave it
if
where
things
it is.
work. What happened to the Zach and I were talking about the radio station in St. Albans. St. Albans, pretty big town, had their own radio station for a while.
Yeah.
You worked there for a couple of years. And then what happened, or do you know?
Well, they sold the radio. The Kimmel family sold the station. Somebody took it over. And I really don't know what happened.
Right.
We don't have the station there anymore.
Right.
It's too bad
It
because
is
it
too
was
bad.
it was all local. It was great. It was a very good community station.
That's right.
And it's too bad to lose that. Really it is.
So the radio business, some people will argue that it's it's going. It's a dinosaur. It's old. It's an old technology. It's gonna go away with the
No,
internet and
that
things.
that won't go away. We're all talk here at
Right.
WVMT now, but coming up through the years, I had the first country show in Burlington, and you played country music, and we played when I started played middle of the road music. When you say middle of the road, what is that? That would have been like music of Frank Sinatra in those days. And then the boss said, why don't we try country music? And I said, oh, that's great. I like country music. And at that time, we were booming into Montreal. It was unreal, and picked up a lot of listeners in Montreal. And a lot of country bands at that time in Montreal, but they weren't getting the airplay because they didn't have the country station. So they used to come down and visit with me, and we'd have the bands come down. And then we moved out here. We were on Bank Street in Burlington at first, and then we moved out here, and it was like I'd have an Opry like on a Saturday night or whatever. We'd bring the bands in the lobby.
In the lobby?
Yes. Oh yeah. It was great, and you'd have people in the parking lot here, looking through the doors, and it was
Oh,
great.
my
It was
goodness.
great. Oh yeah, it was great. And I've done rock, I've done the country, I've done the middle of the road music, and that's when you could pull your own music. You didn't have a list that you went by, and you put your own program together. Oh, it was great. So I've had experience in all facets of radio.
Obviously.
Oh yeah.
Obviously.
After all of these years ago, oh sure. Yeah.
Now your boss wants to talk to us about you. I don't know if it's because he wants to give you a raise.
The only raise you'll give me is to raise the chair. But I also want to mention too. I wrote a book.
Oh, you did?
With
That's
with Alan Rubel from Barrie. He was a former Golden Glover, and he had the idea about doing it. And I said, well, it takes time to do that, the research and everything. And we put it together. He co-authored, and it's called Gloves, and it's about boxers, personalities, coaches involved with boxing here throughout the state, which is, we did a very good job on that. The only trouble is the title of the book is Gloves, and I keep getting calls at home. How much do you sell a pair of work gloves for? I said, no, it's not. It's a book.
It's a book, yeah.
So we did that. So, and then I've had people ask me, would I do a book on my life in radio?
Right.
And I've got to think about that, and maybe down the road that I will do that if all the years.
When you get
that I've
older.
had. When I get older. When I get older,
right
I'll
now
do
you
that,
don't.
As we have now.
You don't seem to have the time.
No, I don't right now. And as you notice coming down Ernie Farrar Drive,
Right.
okay, the roughest road in Colchester.
A lot of potholes.
That's right. And I was going to do a book called "If This Road Could Talk."
Ah.
And life at.
That's a good.
Yeah.
A life in radio. Well, that was part of the reason I'm here, and it was to talk about that life in radio. That I think we need to remember that. There are people. You're probably the only one in the States that has been in radio that long.
About, I would say, yeah. And especially at one station.
At one station, yeah. 49 years.
It will be 49 in 2016, January 9th. I was hired in late 1966, and that was the transition from St. Albans Radio to here. And I took a week or so off vacation because you weren't going to get a vacation for a while, the next job. So then I went on the air here on Bank Street in Burlington in 1967, January 9th. And,
Talk show? A talk show?
No, that was music at first.
Music.
Music at first. And then went all through the phases of music, and now it's talk. And it's good.
And I think that's what makes the station different.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say I don't always agree with what has been said on the
no.
the talk, but I like the format. I like the fact that actually somebody is talking.
That's right. Now, you don't agree with everything we do. A lot of other people don't. But that's where it becomes interesting and where people want to
correct.
listen. And they can get both sides of the story. And that's what we try to do both sides and be equal. And you know, you argue back and forth. It gets interesting.
Yes,
it does.
it sure does.
It does. And,
It sure
and the lines are always open to our listeners. Oh, it's a lot
That's
of fun.
true. I know. I send an email once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Once in a while, I
Yeah.
sneak away in.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else that you would like to talk to us about?
I think we're caught up pretty much
All right.
on everything.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everybody that comes on the show. Ernie, why do you do that?
Why do I do this?
Yes.
I love it. I enjoy it. I enjoy helping people. From the time that I started when I had nothing and worked on my own, like I said, anything that I've got, I've earned it on myself, by myself. I wasn't looking, I didn't have any handout, that's for sure. That's for sure. And got a push along the way from people, got some help from people, and here we are.
No regrets?
No regrets at all. No.
We'll do it all over again.
If I was younger, yeah.
Thank you, Ernie.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so
Michelle.
much.
You're welcome.
Why do you do that?